But it's talking about how you can play Harbinger plus Urza Saga, and the Moon and the Harbinger no longer kills your Urza Saga, and you can keep making constructs with it too. Yeah, we no longer have budget for color on this stream. Had to get slashed. Let's see, 5 days ago on Eldrazi. Like at the hand. The Infinite Construct glitch happened in game already? Yeah, a couple times. It does work. Is it only subjugate color can? I cannot do any fraud. I was gonna say subscribe to find out, but my days of fraud are over. I think it's possible mono blue deck becomes blue white with Foundry as a combo finisher too expensive. Yeah, I think Thopter Foundry is just so bad. It's like both cards only do anything. Both cards only do anything when you draw the other one, and they are very like they also don't win the game by themselves. It's like a 3-card combo where you need Urza to actually make infinite life, and Thopters. Because just making one Thopter for 1 mana is like, it doesn't beat Boros, it doesn't beat Prowess, it doesn't like I don't know that it beats anything. So my opponent went Saga Vexing Bauble, so this is probably Brood Scale. Let's play a Chalice. Maybe stop. I guess they can get Blade off the Saga. They have a good amount of 1-drops though. Is it a glitch? It is a real rule change that happened. It's not a glitch. Could be Titan. It could be. I mean, I haven't seen Titan main deck Vexing Bauble though, so I think it's way more likely to be Brood Scale. Seems less likely to be Titan now, right? And so now I can't Tideshaper and kill a Saga. I could Tideshaper this one though. I can also Tideshaper my Saga and just make a million constructs. Let's go for that. No Cavern of Souls. Good thing this is a league, huh? Oops. I miss my feelings about this change. I think it's pretty atrocious in perspective. Yeah, I don't like it either, really. I would be like, I wouldn't really care very much about this if it just made this an island or a mountain, depending on which moon was in play. But the fact that it still makes constructs, I think, is pretty bad. Yeah, Kicker doesn't change mana value. This is a Brood Scale. I think I would make a construct over casting the Hexcatcher. Well, I was going to cast Hexcatcher and Tideshaper, and I was going to Tideshaper my Saga so I could keep making Sagas every turn, but then that's not an option. I will be okay trading Hexcatcher here for Ballista if they want to make that trade. We could also sack the Bauble now. Yeah, we'll definitely play VV Ornithur. I keep reading Ornithopter every time I see this card, though. I guess my own Vexing Bauble gets turned off by Chalice. The Mishra's Baubles get turned off by the Vexing Bauble. You could have used Emry to give her something the option. Well, there's a Vexing Bauble, so I can't play the Mox Opal. You think Viva will fit in a Storm or Artifact deck? I could not imagine it fitting in Storm. I think it's going to be almost exclusively like a Mox Opal Wizards style deck. Like maybe a just Instants and Sorcery style, but you're probably going to try to play Amber, Opal Bauble, maybe Saga. Can anybody explain? Like, you also might want to combo it with Curiosity. I think that could be real. Could anybody explain the thought behind like thinking that you would be able to play? You would be able to play Vivi in a Storm deck. Vivi seems so much worse than Baral and Ral and Ruby Medallion. Like, you want permanent cost reducers, not like once a turn cost reducers or mana generators. I just don't understand. I do think you can combo it with Curiosity potentially, or like have Curiosity like in your deck otherwise. I just don't understand. Storm gets 12 rituals and most are bad, but it's a ritual does some other stuff. I guess I just don't think of this card as a ritual at all. I think it's like it's 3 mana that you have to cast a bunch of spells before it does anything. Like it's just like it's a cost reducer for me that like cost reduces later. Vivi lets you play your hand of eggs, then cast bounce for free, play and repeat. Lets you play your hand of eggs. What eggs does it let you play? This triggers the ballista twice. Like what eggs? How does it let you play your eggs for free? Because you can only activate the mana ability once. So it's not like you can go egg mana, egg mana, egg mana. You have to play a bunch of cards before you can make your VV mana once a turn. I see it as a ritual rather than a reducer. Well, the only time VV is a ritual is after you've cast a ton of spells, at which point you don't need a ritual. You know what I mean? These games where VV comes down and makes a bunch of mana for you are games you should be able to win with any cost reducer, which is, again, why I think it's more like a cost reducer. But I do agree that it's an interesting back and forth we're having here. We're probably going to lose this game also. So yeah, maybe bouncing with Paradoxical Outcome, but like... I don't know, like that deck's just gonna be so bad probably. Doesn't VV also ping? It does do that, yeah. I guess Monument and PO are what they're talking about. I guess so. I guess like there's not that like you have to play a lot of you have to play Ornithopter and Midnight in those builds basically, and that's usually just gonna make it not good enough. Yeah, our own Chalice is cooking us here. We're only playing 1 in the main deck, and we drew it in kind of a bad spot. VV ping ping ping, upheaval recast VV ping ping ping. Yeah, it's just like, how could this be a good strategy? I'm not arguing here for the sake of arguing. Yeah, I'm trying to give a genuine back and forth here, and I'm sorry if it doesn't seem that way. I played a lot of Storm. There are plenty of times I wish I had one more ritual and ended up whiffing. I feel like I couldn't whiff if I had a VV in play. I guess the thing is, it's like those turns where you couldn't whiff if you had VV in play. You have to like play VV and untap with it, right? You have to play like it's VV is like worse than Burgi in Storm. Like Burgi has existed this whole time. Burgi is cool because Burgi can be a card advantage engine or it can be a mana engine. It's a better mana engine than VV Ornithopter because you can cast. You can just keep getting the mana from it continuously. You don't need to like wait for one big burst. It's just always making mana for you. If you have too much mana, it can be a card advantage engine, albeit not a great one. So it's like, it also is just mono red, so you don't need to splash a color like you do for this. So it's like just all of these factors make me incredulous as to like, you know, wondering why people like think VV is going to be like VV is worse than Burgi and Burgi's not good. Maybe that's a good way to think about it. VV is worse than Burgi. VV is worse than Burgi in Storm. Like, literally argue how VV is better than Burgi in Storm. I don't understand. Yeah, it's okay, though. I know we're having a good conversation. I'm still trying to have a good conversation. I think I might cut the Harbingers. No, let's play 2. Why do you have to untap with VV? Because it's 3 mana. You're not going to be able to go VV, make a bunch of mana on turn 3 very often, not without another cost reducer and a bunch of rituals. If you have another cost reducer and a bunch of rituals, VV is a lot of times going to be win more. And Burgi would be better in these spots too. And maybe do I misunderstand something about this card? Maybe that's the case. Greyhound, 26 months. Thank you. Welcome back. VV is a win con though. Burgi is just mana. Well, for VV to be a win con in Storm, you need to cast about 20 spells. It's very hard to cast about 20 spells in Storm and not be able to win the game anyways. But if you just never find a wish, then that's the case. Am I going to go to 5? I think I'm going to go to 5. Okay, I hate having to put back a consign, but definitely the best hand here. But yeah, I think maybe it's just people are way overestimating the ping on VV, but like that the ping is going to be way more relevant in a Wizard Shell where you can nickel and dime your opponent over the course of a few turns, where you're playing Curiosity with VV to combo off. In Storm, casting 20 spells and having VV be your win condition, it's like in the games where you cast 20 spells, how often can you not win the game with a wish? Like almost never. If you consider VV as a commander card or just good under Cauldron. It is good under Cauldron. VV is also good with Flame of Anor and Expressive Iteration and Mishra's Bauble and Mox Amber and Mox Opal and Curiosity. Like, these are the cards I want to pair with VV. I don't want to put it in Storm. Burgi generates mana when you're casting spells. VV makes mana that lets you cast spells, but neither are good enough. I mean, it's kind of similar, but also like VV also only makes mana when you're casting spells, right? Because you need to have cast a lot of spells to make the mana. Turn 1 Brood Scale. Not fair against my Mulligan 5. Thank you, Jarvis, for the raid. We're playing Merfolk at a challenge. We're 2-0 in a challenge. The league matches haven't been going quite as well. But we're winning where it counts so far. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and sack both Baubles here. Is VV good with Time Warp? I mean, Time Warp's good with a lot of things. It's 5 mana. People think of VV as a fair play in Storm. Yeah, maybe. I could be. I would love to be wrong. I would love to see what people are seeing about VV and Storm, but I still have not. Don't feel like I see it. Yeah, turn 1 Brood Scale is so crazy here. Yeah, same deck at the challenge. Do you have to be available at specific times to participate in challenges? Yeah, it's they start at specific times. They're like normal tournaments. Maybe VV if it's Song of Creation. Maybe. I think I like 6 probably more. Do you think VV is playable in Storm? I think VV is not playable in Storm at all. I still don't understand the thoughts. It's okay if you do. We don't have to keep talking about that part. I do think VV could be playable in, again, I think I'm going to play VV in like a wizard style shell. I'm going to play VV in a curiosity style shell. And for me, like, those are the only 2 decks I'm even thinking about playing this card in. And it's interesting that people do have like a different vision. But it's certainly not my vision. I have an unrelated Storm deck that wins turn 2 more often than Ruby Storm, if you want to look at it. It's quite the clickbait. I'll take a look. Like, I like being able to go like VV into like Bauble, Mox Amber, cast Flame of Anor immediately on turn 3. That's what I want to do with it. That's what I want to do with VV. I want to go VV, Bauble, Curiosity, Amber, trigger VV, pop off on turn 3. You know, like that's what I want to do. I would not have expected them to just make and adapt here. So yeah, successful clickbait. Twiddle Storm wins more often on turn 2. Whoa, no Lotus Field, Twiddle Storm. Is Fertile Ground the best 2 mana? It probably is. I see that you're also playing Wolf Willow Haven. So that's kind of bad. Like, making green sucks. I guess there's just no other 2-drop that makes any color, huh? Is this better than the like Splice plan? I'd be kind of curious to play the Splice plan instead. Although this build is way more resilient to Bowmasters, which I like. That's cool. Yeah, wait, look, 4 Lotus Fields in the sideboard is also like so weird. Monk with 7 months, thank you, welcome back. I think VV will fit into Counterspell Temple Shell with 1 or 2 payoffs. Yeah, I think so too. Like I'm even like just surprised that there's so much hype for VV outside of that. Do I need to double consign? I think because I have the Emry going, I can afford to just leave up 2 consigns here. And they don't make a Saga token or float mana, so something went wrong there. Might as well replicate. VV Narset Helping Hand. Yeah, maybe in that kind of shell. I just do not think it is a Storm card in the slightest. Okay. Okay, your turn 1 Brood Scale into turn 3 Triple Blade, counting the Saga. Beating my double consign. I had my mulligan to 5, I had to put back the 3rd consign, which is funny. If this was a mulligan to 6, we could have beaten this. So there's 3 matches left in the challenge. We're 2-0 in the challenge, thankfully. Or like, sorry, if our 5-card hand had been a 7-card hand. Probably lead on the sync so we don't get Thoughtseized out of the game. Yeah, dealing 10 damage didn't help. That's true. Wasn't super avoidable. Flipping this Tamiyo seems pretty nice. Can be kind of bad if they just have a turn 2 Myco spawn. Oh, no second land. Let's get 1 to 10. How well did Urza's Harbinger do in testing last night? It was fine. I don't know what 1 to 10 is. I played like 3 matches. It seemed pretty nice. It was something that we were like always going to play today too, so I didn't think that much about it before shipping it. And the mana curve seemed a little high in testing on stream today. Yeah, they made 64 of these, or 32 of these for a tournament on Magic Online. It was pretty cool. Okay, they decided to rumble. After some deliberation. They choose Cavern of Souls. Maybe they would evoke a Null Drifter if they have a Null Drifter. Land would be good. Another Tamiyo, not so good. Did we see that Ugins lab off the bauble? Did opponent keep a no land hand? No, they're just playing slow, I think. There's no way. Interesting that they tap the forest on the talisman. Maybe they don't have anything else to do. This deck has always seemed starved of lands. Yeah, it's like a little weird, right? Because you have all these box ends, so you don't want to be playing too many lands. She might be right. Hopefully we just draw a land here. Okay. Three, four, five. So they would need a double land to cast a Devourer on the Tamiyo. Jeff with the 49 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Good to see you, homie. Yeah, Doom beat me in game 3 last round of the challenge. Yeah, he mulliganed to 6. I mulliganed to 5. He was on the play. I dismember for the Kavu, consign for the first Scion. He had second Scion, and we lost to it. Our draws are also kind of shaky after we resolve Svyelun on turn 3. Put it Rumbles, a Breeding Pool, or Misty Rainforest. Also milled over 2 more Rumbles. I think it was off stream earlier this week, but I saw an opponent brick on a Rumble playing Eldrazi. It was all Rumbles and K commands. So this is an island, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess they could still have a temple. They do have the temple. Please don't have a Devourer. They probably have Devourer. They don't? Okay, we got a game. Definitely want to use my mana here because I'm about to draw a ton of cards. I don't really know what they can have to stop me from drawing a ton of cards here. I'm a little bit worried about them having a K return, I guess. Let's go ahead and... What is this, 26 cards? Or no, not that many. 23. So I have a Bauble, an Amber, and an Opal. So that's going to be... Oh, I got a lot of Moxen. Start off with an Amber.
Why is your video black and white?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
Is it not cool? Is it not mysterious? Does it make you want to subscribe that it's black and white?
Just makes me want to play more Expedition 33.
Yeah, someone made that comment too. Can I go Harbinger with double? I guess double. Trickster doesn't protect from K return. How do I play around K return? I guess I just sink. So let's play Saga. And then play a second Mox. And then we lead on the Harbinger here. So if they have the K return, because they don't need to float the mana because it's off the talisman. I do think I want to leave up the ability to play double Trickster. Do I have... Okay, there's one Trickster there. Okay, I only have one Trickster in my hand, so I guess that's not true. Do I want to go like Amber Tamiyo, hold up sync? So I think I'll go Amber Emry. I don't have another Pop Bauble. Okay, so let's pass the turn here. I did milling 4 is kind of tough, but we'll just not play another. Tamiyo should be fine. When you say Trickster, I mean Hexcatcher when I say Trickster, I guess. They sack for a colorless, they sack for a colorless. Then they K return. I guess the problem is if I bounce this, they just get to K return again. So if I play instead Hexcatcher, I can just stop this from resolving. And then I can Lantern this second main phase. So let's sack the Emry first. Though it shouldn't really matter because we're just going to be sacking everything besides the Harbinger. And then play the Lantern so they can't go like Null Drifter, get back the K return. And pass. They have 5 cards in their hand. We have got a Harbinger in play. Their double colorless cards are turned off. Weird game. Tide Shaper on the Utopia land. We could try to do that this next turn. Is Minamo just a tap Svyelun? Emry is more so. Alright, so I've got 4 mana left after this. Seems like cutting them off green. I guess they have the Talisman still. Alright, I'll play a Svyelun. I think I'll just play a 1 mana, one of these, and pass back. So they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they have a land, they can play this Sire that we saw off the Bauble. But we can just tap it. Although, is that better than bouncing it? I guess bouncing is going to be better. We could have the sync up on their turn. Play another one of these. There's like none left. Alright, so we win game 1, despite missing our 3rd land drop for a bit. Drawing half your deck will help. Alright, this was the sideboard plan last time. Let's keep it here. Tom, you're such a stupid card. Yeah, for real. It is, of all the stupid MH3 cards, I really enjoy playing with Tamiyo. I don't really know it has 3 toughness. It does seem like so much of MH3 was like designed around Fury. For whatever that's worth. Okay, we get to do the thing here. Gonna basically never lead on Tide Shaper turn 1 unless I draw exactly second Tide Shaper, I guess. I guess it's great when you're playing with it. Yeah. I agree. It's not the most fun to play against. I was hoping for a Utopia Sprawl, instead they have Talisman this game. So I think I'm just gonna play this. Don't want to commit too much and do a K return. A little late. They have a Dismember. Sure. How much time's left in the challenge? Still 16 matches. I guess me and Doom finished pretty quick. Put a Rumbles over Ugin's Lab, Soaring Mycospawn, or Dismember. And Nature's Claim obviously can't take Claim or Dismember. They do take the Mycospawn. No double land to play it immediately. Would Fury be fine in today's Modern? So, I mean, there are very few things that are on the Modern ban list that would actually break the format. Like, would Fury destroy Modern? No. Would it be a card? Fury is also like one of the the least popular cards ever. Like people hate Fury. People think it is super unfun. People thought that banning Fury would let their Elves deck or their Humans deck be playable again. But like there's always a really flawed logic there because like your Humans deck or your Elves deck or whatever, it's just not a stronger creature deck than like Yawgmoth or like the other creature decks that existed at the time. So there's always like a little bit of a weird flawed logic there too. Well, I think I need to slam this Sylvoon. Could maybe have just like left up Saga token / consign, but it's probably okay. Do people hate Fury more than Grief? They absolutely did at the time when Fury was banned. Fury was banned not because it was better than Grief, it's because people online complained about it more. 100% it's because people complained about it more. But Grief should have been the one to be banned at the time, in my opinion. I do think these creature decks would be better if MHD Block Constructor had been printed. Yeah, there's a whole like mess of problems there for sure. And like obviously Fury being legal would not have just fixed everything. But also like a Johnny, Guide, Pride, Raptor were all, in my opinion, designed with Fury in mind. Like keeping this on 6 and hoping these baubles get me somewhere? Maybe. We go to 5, I think. So we'll put back Shadowspear Bauble. I feel like Fury was such a brutal card against so many decks. Yeah, I'm not denying that. It was very good. It was also bad against a lot of decks too, which I always think is kind of interesting. But the thing is, it's like, again, like Humans still wasn't playable after Fury was banned. And this is because there just were better creature decks to play at the time. There's still like many better creature decks, and it's just not. If Humans isn't as powerful as other creature strategies, there's not. Like, Fury being legal or not doesn't really affect how playable it is. That was a freebie. On Mulligan. What do they think I'm playing that they're just Orms chanting me here? Fury made Mana Dorks unplayable. Well, Yawgmoth still played Mana Dorks at the time, so I wouldn't say that's exactly true. But, like, I try to remember, like, when Mana Dorks saw play even, like, pre-Fury, because, like, I guess Heliod did play them. But that was pre-MH1. So, like, the entire, like, MH1 to MH2 era, like, I'm trying to think of, like, a deck that played Mana Dorks besides Yawgmoth. I can't think of any, and besides Yawgmoth, like I can't really think of any decks that played them after either. But there may be some I'm forgetting about. No argument that Fury is always a borderline bannable card. I agree. Like I'm not saying unban Fury. I'm just saying that they should have banned Grief. They should have banned Grief when they banned Fury, and they maybe should have banned Fury still. But also, it was. I think one big thing was it was a big mistake to design so many MH3 cards with Fury in mind. Like I don't think that was a very healthy thing they did. Yeah, this is Saga Merfolk. We're also playing in the challenge, and we're 2-1 in the challenge. Just picked up our first loss to our friend Doomwake. Robot to 31 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Especially considering Boros would be able to play Fury. Well, so people always say this. Boros would be able to play Fury. Like, I don't know that I really recall Fury being so strong that you would just main deck it. Like you would basically never main deck Fury with no ways to scam it. Unless you were like a Cascade deck. And even you might remember Rhinos just wasn't playing value Fury at the end of the Fury's legality. It just wasn't like seen as optimal. So like just Fury all natural with no scam, I don't think would have seen main deck play in Boros, especially considering how many other options you have. Okay, are they playing a Scepter here? Yeah, 4-color Omnath didn't play it all natural. Like those were way better Fury decks too. Okay, can we beat this? Probably not. It would just be a different build of Boros and Solitude and Ephemerate. Well, it would be a completely different deck, I agree. But I don't necessarily think that that's the best point either, for whatever that's worth. Does Vexing Bauble stop Scepter? I think it does, because you didn't spend mana to cast a spell. But like Solitude is bad in your aggro decks. Like I don't think the Boros as we know it would be a Solitude Ephemerate Fury deck. Obviously we'll never know for sure, but I'm not very scared of that. Not if they kick the chant, then they do spend mana. Ooh. I don't have a main deck Needle. I have a sideboard one. It might be cooked. They might like tap a little low here. Yeah, the problem with Chalice in 1 is I'm not going to be able to resolve it because they're just going to keep chanting me. Yeah, Sync could be an out. Oh, that's true. Mistrise. Sync is an out, yeah. Otawara is even a better out, too. Do I still get the Vexing Bauble? Could be better to get like Mox Amber so that I could channel Sync or Otawara. Yeah, the bubble doesn't seem to do anything because they do spend mana on it, so. Being able to Violent Harbinger with 3rd chapter on the stack is pretty cool. I guess wait, it doesn't die if the 3rd chapter went on the stack? I guess it wouldn't, right? With the new changes. We're all just like, if we had a Flash Merfolk here, we could win too. Just like counter unless they pay 4, attack for 6. So maybe we draw one of those. They kick it and don't hold up Mistrise. Well, it's not, you don't hold up Mistrise. You have to use it first too. They should be doing that if they're not doing anything else. After 60 months, thank you. Welcome back. Weird. I might not look like it. I'm having so much fun this game. I love these games where I'm just dying to top deck like 12 cards. I don't know. And I have a few turns to do it. I think they're so fun. That's on my list. So we'll bounce the Scepter end of turn. Which they counter. But now I have lethal in play at the moment. I have a win. I'm on the edge of my seat here. I even get to keep Sylvoon in play if I want. Oh no, I don't have to sack all 3. No, they have to tap one more land, so I do get to keep it. So sack here. So if my opponent has a... Yeah, I just do this too, so if my opponent has a Solitude, I still win. I have to play the Boots, though, to make sure that's the case. That is definitely the most I've ever been sceptered and still won. Pretty cool. think I want 2 Harbingers, 1 Consign. If they spent their other lands for counterspell, then they would have been fine. Are you saying because they had the Mistrise Village? Yeah, if they had the mana to, yeah, they should have still had the mana to Mistrise Village. Yeah, I need to orchestrate a Mox Opal heist for y'all. Who every time I play a Mox Opal deck are like, I love this deck. I need the Mox Opals. We need to find an armored truck carrying the world supply of Mox Opals and steal them. They only had 1 mana after kicking. They couldn't activate Misrage. Yeah, if they only had 1 mana, they're cooked. Probably better to lead on Hexcatcher here because I want to play Svyelun next turn. So this way I can beat Counterspell on Svyelun. Wouldn't have an issue if you played Flame of Ador. You could play Flame. I wanted to stay away from the Flame stuff. I wanted to stay away from the Flame stuff for today because we're about to get like VV, which I think is going to be my next Flame deck. So like that's just, it just feels like a waste of time. We lost to Doomwake on Domain Zoo last round. Tough game 3 where we couldn't beat the second Scion on our Mold of 5. Is March? Chant, okay. Great draw. I just don't. How is every blue-white player like, yeah, brother, I'm playing this tapped island in my deck? I don't understand. Like, I don't know how they all think it's good. It's crazy to me. Okay, we are kind of soft to a Solitude. Do you have the backup Svyelun at least? Now I could bounce a Solitude. Let's not attack with the Hexcatcher, so if they have Solitude plus Force, we don't just auto lose. Is Otawara better than Sync in the Stupor? Better than Sync for the Scepter? Well, I mean, these pitch to Force. These like go after more than just the Scepter. I don't think we're currently that scared of Scepter, but it is better against Scepter specifically, yeah. 5 mana main phase. Untap, untap, untap. Untap. Like, blue-white control players are all obsessed with not losing the mirror match. It is always the #1 concern to be, you know, to get that. Like, listen, I'm gonna play the Misread Village, so it's not I don't lose the mirror. They always are so obsessed, and who can blame them? Okay, well, why don't you try again next turn? Round 4 of the challenge is about to start. Could sack a Merfolk here, but I think I want to keep all my pressure in play. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to go pee. Round 4 started.